What's up, y'all? You're tuning in to another episode of the Dope Girl Dialect Minisodes, the pandemic series. We in here.
In the background.
We in here because we can't be out here like we normally are. And we are super excited because we have a special guest. Her name is Shay, and she's been on our podcast before on our first season. So make sure you double back and listen to our past episodes to listen to her first visit with us. But welcome back, Boo.
I'm so excited. I'm honored. I love you guys. And I feel like human connection wise and also like Dope Girl Dialect wise, like I really need a good conversation. So I'm excited.
Yes, well, we're excited to have you back. And today we are going to be talking about the future of working post-COVID or post-COVID pre-vaccine or post-COVID with vaccine, how that's all going to look and our thoughts on that. So ladies, first of all, check-in. How's everybody doing today?
I'm gonna let y'all know now. I have the worst case of insomnia.
Really?
This little break ain't making it no better. Day is night, night is day. Shit is right now.
I feel that completely. I try to go to bed. I'm trying to go to bed at or wind down around 11, and that's not happening because I wind down at like 2:30, 3 a.m.
That's a blessing right there.
So I got to do better because I feel, again, like I was telling you guys about the time management, I just feel like I need to like start my day early, but I can't because I'm falling asleep late.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but other than that, my day has been pretty good.
Yeah, especially like for insomnia wise, like are you taking anything? Like are you doing like tea, maybe melatonin, maybe other vitamins? Like how are you?
I'm a confirmed case. Me and my team of doctors. Yeah, you know, they got me on some stuff, but I'm just not tired till like maybe 7 or 8. And what irks me is I'll finally get tired off my medication, and then maybe 3 hours later, I'm up wide awoke.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Me and my team of doctors.
My job, I work with different consumer packaged goods companies, and one of them is like working really hard to figure out like how they can support people like suffering from insomnia right now. So they're doing a whole bunch of like focus groups, like figuring out like, is it do you want it from like a name brand, or do we want like a whole new portfolio of products like to combat this, because it is so specific to a pandemic. So yeah, and like when I was like being briefed on the project, I was like, are people really not sleeping? Like I'm tired, but I think yeah, like you are one in like, you know, a lot of people who like don't know how to like manage the day, the sun, the moon in their bed. Yeah.
Terrible. I was like, my sleep pattern was already trash before it is. It's really went to shit now. So.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people operate with like the normal like structure of like going up, going to school, or getting up and going to work, and having that, and then knowing that, okay, after 5 o'clock I have this bit of time, and then next thing you know it's 9 p.m. and it's like, okay, off to bed because I have to be up. But now it's like we don't have that timeline. So like I know for me, I was definitely one of those people that was like, club quarantine, we turned up. Yeah. And then now I'm like, bitch, I don't want to go to sleep. Like I'm on a house party or whatever, and I'm like the first one out. Like I don't even be saying bye no more. I just be clicking out. Like
oh. So who's house party with? Like your friends, or like just like and
this is house party the app, y'all, not going to people's houses, but like
to be clear.
Yes,
right. Disclaimer.
Y'all drag me.
Practicing
in the comments. But yeah, I like it's a group of friends that I met at my first job when I moved back to New York, and so we connect on here. We talk about like we gonna talk about Insecure and all that good stuff. So like those are like my, you know how everybody has their core friends or whatever. So those are like my core friends, and then we just chat on there. We go in and out, and then house party too. They've been I mean, we ain't really sponsored by them or whatever, but they've been putting up some content. Like one day I went on there, they had like a whole mini prom and like all these DJs were performing. That was so cute.
Cute.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yes, house party, I'll do that. And then they also have games and stuff. So, you know, if you get tired of just like staring at your friend's nose, you can like play trivia or whatever.
Interesting. That's funny.
Yeah, I'll be the first one to fuck out. I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I will see y'all tomorrow because shit ain't shit changed. So
Good to be here. I am feeling, I don't know. I came off a really heavy week, like heavy 2 weeks. Like one dealing with like the emotional roller coaster of Ahmaud Arbery's death. Finding out about it 3 months later, and then there's a video, and then there's an uproar, and then just all like the bullshit that happened like afterward was like troublesome, and then lots of anxiety, like thinking about my grandparents. Like the longer this goes on, they're fucking hard-headed, and I'm concerned with just like if they're actually going to be practicing it. So I'm thinking about that, and just thinking about how Black people are expendable, seemingly expendable by the country. So like 2 weeks of that roller coaster on top of PMS and work is acting as if it's not a pandemic. I feel okay. Like today is like I'm organizing my space because I feel cluttered, so my brain feels cluttered. So I'm like getting rid of clothes. Like I'm getting a bike today. I'm gonna get a bike.
I want a bike so bad. Oh my God.
Listen, wait, you're in Ohio?
Temporarily. I just have to leave to New York because they was hard.
Yeah, I think it's a real good deal in Ohio. So yeah, check it out there, and I'll send you some links if you have trouble finding.
Send me some.
Shay, like to me?
No, I'm okay. So anyway,
you can lie on the podcast. That's crazy.
I would bike, but Ayanna, you're saying you're staying indoors.
I'm staying indoors. You want to venture out? Come to me.
All right,
What's a backyard? We can be 6 feet apart from each other.
We'll talk offline because like Sam, I know Sam is staying indoors, like not being around people. You're going to venture out soon. Ayanna, I don't know what you're doing. And Jodeci is doing what you're doing. I think it's so interesting how people are kind of like we're making our own definitions of like our own sanity. Because I feel like there's no right way to like behave in a pandemic.
Oh, no.
No, like I see like the funniest thing I like to do in the morning is go out in my kitchen and look out the window to see what people are doing. And like I see couples without masks like going on a stroll, and then I see
without masks.
Yeah, and then I see like the one lady with her dog where she's like in a sumo suit, like she's going ham. Right. And then my favorite is the parent with the kid. The parent is souped up, but the kid isn't. And
I'm confused. I'm so confused by that.
Where are your priorities at? That's
no one really knows. So no one really knows. We have no real answers, no real leadership except for President Cuomo. And it's like people aren't understanding the severity of it, so they don't really know. Like you have to wear masks. You know what I'm saying? Or I know there's some places where like we're not letting you in without masks, but I don't think people are taking that, seriously because we also don't really know how every new day is a new symptom, or every day there's a new
kids are starting to
catch it this way. There's so many different ways of contracting it, so it's like there's really no way, and people are probably like, fuck it, like mask probably not gonna save me anyway. So it's kind of like
I don't understand how the people want to fight though, because they can't walk into an establishment because they asking you to put on a mask. Turn the fuck around if you're doing it.
Why are you taking your guns to your city council steps to argue about being able to go to the butcher? You know what I mean? Like, this shit is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Or the people who were protesting the gyms and doing push-ups outside the gym, like, bitch, work out at home. Like, it's not that serious.
We're so close to each other. Like, you guys are, like, crazy.
I don't know where it was, but it was a group of white people. And they were being filmed, and they were literally blocking the cops from entering whatever establishment.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, had that been a group of black people,
that would never happen.
That would never happen. They
would have called the National Guard because we are so much of a threat. We need to call in the National Guard.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Or they would have sprayed that thing with bullets. Like,
oh, absolutely. Somebody got arrested, got hurt, got injured.
I just don't understand why. Like, so I have a lot of Asia-specific clients, Singapore, China, Japan. They are, I feel, so they're either going into their second wave of like lockdown or like letting people back out, like making people like figure out their own like parameters for phases to like let people go back out into the world. But there are so many other countries who are doing it right, whatever it is, in terms of like what they're hearing from the government and distilling it down to the communities. Like, we are just such an individualist society that like we would never be able to like follow serious instructions. Like serious, like bulleted point instructions, like only women can go to the grocery store on Sundays between 3 and 6. You know what I mean? Like really like isolate distance, like human contact. But no, we have to argue, and the Georgia government has to show his complete ass and just like look so ridiculous and rescind like their opening. It's just so embarrassing. I am so embarrassed by my address. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
Nobody, I'm living in America. Like, this is
nobody. And then when I talk to people, they're like, "Oh, you're in New York?" Like even in like Panama, they're like, "You're in New York? Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Thankfully though, because the shit that's going on could be so much worse. Because like you said, there's really no real leadership, and people are like, well,
I have no leadership.
I'm over this COVID shit. It was cool being in the house, but fuck it, we out. Like, what?
I'm embarrassed.
We're not in the same pandemic, which is crazy because, and I think it's true in that instance because, like, for example, people who are like quarantining in California versus like New York, it's completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of the space,
the environment,
and the things that you can do.
But you know what, though, New York, we don't have space. We're all stacked up on one another. So
right.
I'm not going to necessarily say New Yorkers aren't listening, but we don't have the best living conditions to handle this type of situation.
By structure. Yeah.
So I feel like it's just like because we have the internet, we're seeing other people quarantining differently. We're like, we want to be outside. Why can't we do this? But I don't think people are taking into account the situation that we specifically are in. We're different than everybody else.
But think about the ways that our city has, like when I've been riding around Brooklyn, all of our parks are closed. They took down the nets off the basketball courts. They took down the nets off the tennis courts. They've boarded up like the squash, what is it called? Playground, the areas, whatever, where people could exercise and like kind of maintain sanity. Mm-hmm. But then Central Park is open. But you know what I mean? So like the way that they're treating the different neighborhoods and policing how we social distance, it's also disgusting. Like Cuomo, you're doing what you can, whatever. You can put on a parade for New York, but like people are still being disproportionately treated during this pandemic too. So how can we stay healthy? How can, I was looking at my groceries that I buy like in my neighborhood compared to like the ones that I buy at Trader Joe's down like downtown Brooklyn. Like the downtown Brooklyn, like Trader Joe's shit is lasting longer than my stuff that's like closest to me. It's like even our resources are not the same quality, which we've known, but it's just like everything is heightened. It's heightened.
Yeah. And then also too, like the fact that they are about to reopen up the beaches.
In New York?
Yes, for Memorial Day.
Really? I thought that was just Jersey. New York is opening up beaches?
Also as well, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're just...
I'm just like, first of all, who really gives a fuck about a Memorial Day? And then someone was like, oh, well, I want a grill. I was like, you can get a grill pan or a George Foreman.
I want a grill.
Yo.
It's just disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, I never knew a hot dog meant that much to you. That you really will risk your life and your family's life for a grilled hot dog.
Air fryer, it's the same effect. Put it on 7 minutes.
Like, order from Burger King online. They charboil their shit all day long. Try it that way. Like
They're babies. You want to grill you're gonna like add more like congestion to the hospital system because you want to grill.
And you want to go to the beach, and I'm like, how can you contain a beach?
America hard-headed. You know, we got to learn from experience. So we gonna open just to close back down.
Right. God forbid we ever learn from countries like in Asia who have gone through this like before. God forbid we would ever do that.
They got a way better system than us.
Every time I see a video of whatever they're doing, I'm just like, we are so stupid. Like, we just don't got the synapses in the brain to even like fucking.
And I'm like, man, people fight to live over here. It ain't even worth it, bro. The lack of leadership, the resources. It's just like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing right now?
But I did see some like people, sometimes I get mad, like the government really should, like enough of this pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Like we need leadership, we need real communication, we need just like hard guidelines and parameters, and fine. But people are like taking their own initiative to like take care of the communities, like all the volunteering, like taking groceries to like older people who can't get out or who are afraid to leave. I saw this woman who owns Sincerely Tommy. She was talking about like, we just need to like take the initiative to like be like truly be the change that we want to see. So Black people, you know, move your money to a Black owned bank, like, you know, take back like the ownership into like a establishment that is rooted in your beliefs. Out like away from Chase Bank, away from like the larger like institutions that like clearly only like are not for the people. Like, you know, I was like, that is interesting. Like if we think about two things, I mean, I don't know what that looks like for me. Like I was kind of want to like assign myself, like, what does it look like for you to be the change? Is it more volunteering? Is it moving your money? Is it, I don't know. But I think that like, I've just been thinking about like my place in society a lot, like during the pandemic. And I think that if we start to do those things, it could just like make it better, because the government, I think that post-pandemic, we're still going to have the same crap.
Yeah.
The same crap.
Speaking of post-pandemic, we are, you know, coming to the realization that, you know, when we want to do, if we do want to get back to work, what is that going to look like for each of us? And I know that Twitter announced that they will allow their employees to work from home forevermore if they so choose to. And so just think about that. I know everyone doesn't have that access to work from home. I know speaking with my job, they are thinking of all different options for, you know, folks. And I know like they're even looking into building the office space and maybe alternating, you know, days of when you're in the office working from home, that sort of thing, so that they can manage how many people are in a space. So to you, like, I know the answer to this, but like in your mind, working when things go, when the state reopens, what does that look for you? Or what do you think it will be ever the same? I don't think so.
I've been thinking about this so much. Like, you know, what is the new normal? My company does an all hands meeting every Friday, an hour where we can ask pointed questions to the executives, to like anybody really, just like have an open discussion about where we're at. And you know, how your week went or whatnot. And my boss, our CEO, said, you know, if you guys want me to give you an answer about when we're going to like come back to the office, I don't think it's going to be before the end of the year. So make your spaces comfortable. And obviously that's going to update, but we don't think that it's, you know, just soft launching that idea that we're not going to come back into the office for the rest of the year. We also are a flexible work arrangement company. So it wasn't really it was a big transition because everybody stayed at home, but like, you know, typically you could have people in the office or not. I think that for me, until there is some type of protection against against this virus. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going in there. I have my laptop. I'm like focusing on like how to be like a more compelling communicator via Zoom. You know what I mean? I'm just like, this is our tool right now, and I'm going to use it and get stronger at it. I think that I think we should just start to figure out like how to make this work. So
we're back from intermission. Everyone has drinks. Snacks, water.
Snack. I have coffee. We're back.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we were talking about what work looks like currently right now for all of us, and Shay, you were mentioning that your sort of situation is you've had the ability to work from home already, so it hasn't really changed in terms of that regard, but like it's affecting your whole company in terms of everyone having to be home now.
And it's weird because I've been thinking like, all right, I live in New York. Like I wasn't gonna, I don't want to go home. Like I'm from Pittsburgh. I love Pittsburgh, but I just got moved into a studio. I wanted to like make my space and be here. So, but now that work is saying that like we'll be remote moving forward, I'm like, I kind of want to go somewhere and like practice this like I can work from anywhere thing, but it's not safe. Like this is not a normal situation where like, oh, maybe I'll move to Panama and work from there for the rest of the year. Like that's not, I don't feel safe doing that. I don't feel safe living here and then potentially taking the virus like elsewhere. Yeah. It's just, I really feel like kind of trapped in terms of like what my options are of living for the rest of the year until we figure ourselves out. So where I was going with that was, I'm thinking about this next year. Like I want to get a new job. Hopefully they don't see this. But I'm like, let me still think about, try to keep my life at some kind of like sense of normalcy while we're isolating.
Yeah.
I know my job, it's like, you can work from home. It's like a double-edged sword for me though. Cause me personally, like I'm already borderline antisocial. So
bye y'all.
Look, I want to work from home. I do, but for my mental health, I just gotta step out sometime. I need some type of interaction because if you put me in a house too long, I'm going to think. I'm going to be sitting in my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm going to think.
And I don't know how productive that's going to do for me. I don't know, man. And then I too was trying to switch and transition into something else. And then this happened. So it's just like, who really trying to like bring on new people?
Right.
And they let hella people go. So it's just like, I can't give you their spot when I already told them that they can come back.
Right.
So man, it's just a weird situation. And I'm already in the group of immune compromised because I have an autoimmune disease. So I really can be like in people's faces. So I don't like this. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's another thing that's sort of like messing with me a little bit. It's just like, okay, when people become comfortable with working in public spaces and like offices and stuff like that, it's like you really can't control what the other person is doing in their lifestyle. Right. So it's like, how can I maintain the bubble for myself, maintain my sanity, but also still make a living in a safe way? And so like I already had it in my mind that I was going to work from home, whether my job decided to bring remote positions back or keep them. Like I have my setup already. So I was going to tell them, guess what, bitch, working from home, see you when I see you, and keeping it moving. And, I work within a restaurant industry. So that landscape is completely like there's no foundation. Everyone is pretty much like businesses who've been around for years are literally they're at the state of infancy with reopening their spaces. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting to see that and like to see a large, group literally trying to make sense of it and make it make sense for their employees as well. It's scary, but it's also like reassuring to know that they're taking so much time and like building a task force to like work out best practices and to see what makes sense.
Your company's doing that, or like New York State government?
The company itself, like they're of course listening to the guidelines of the government and also seeing how that will work out for the businesses that they have. And they, the CEO, he has spoken to us and he's literally like, yeah, I don't care what they're saying. Like, if it doesn't make sense for us and for you guys to be safe just yet, there's no like way that we're going to reopen. Even if they say you can reopen and like have 50 people occupying the space, we're not going to do that. Like, that doesn't make any sense for our industry.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, I guess coming from like a hospitality standpoint, like it doesn't make sense to have like the one state was having mannequins occupy half the restaurants. Like, that's scary. That's freaky. I already have a phobia of like statues and shit. So
oh,
this is in Virginia.
What's the purpose of mannequins?
Just to create an atmosphere that there's like, livelihood in the space. This is for restaurants in Virginia. Like this one restaurant that's like Michelin star.
That's not the
Michelin star restaurant saying that they're gonna put mannequins at the empty table so that patrons feel like they're like, first of all, that's
weird. Now I'm dining with mannequins.
And I think they also put the mannequins there to help show like what the distance, the 6 foot distance is too. Like that is so weird. We are literally in Black Mirror.
Okay.
It really is. There was a meme with Will Smith from I Am Legend or whatever, and then he was with the mannequin, like, talk to me. I was like, literally. Like, that's us right now. No, like, say something.
That you guys have like a leader in place who's like, listen, I'm looking out for you guys' interests.
Right.
People aren't doing that. They're like, all right, we're trying to get back to work. Can we do this?
Right. And then like Sam, your company has some of like the best restaurants, like first of all in New York, but then also like Michelin star like level, like global recognition. So I mean, it probably doesn't make sense for them to open up because like they'll just continue to get in the red. Like those plates are like plus $150. So like opening does not benefit them at all if they only are allowing like a third of their like revenue like in the store, in the door.
Yeah, so a lot of other industries affect that industry. Like you have Broadway not open,
right?
Tourism is down.
Think about where they're at, right?
Yeah, and like food is not on anyone's brain except for like, sustaining yourself. Like who really wants to eat
and is it
$100 plus plate? Like that's not on my radar. And that there's some people who like literally they eat that food all day. Like we have regulars who eat that breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They come in and that's what they do. They just
$150 a plate.
Yeah, they'll come in for courses like daily, and I'm just like, I wish I could live that life, but that's like that old New York money where they just like that's what they do, and it's like that's a part of their lifestyle. And I even think about those people who I remember call in and they're like, oh yeah, it's my regular table. I'm like, do you know how to make toast, sir? Like, how have you been these last 2.5 months? Like, did you scramble the egg properly? I just want to know. Like, I don't know. But yeah,
it's
interesting to see. I mean, I don't think those type of jobs will be obsolete. Like, they will definitely come back in a way, but it's definitely not. Like, I keep telling my coworkers, like, yeah, don't anticipate to even start some type of workload until maybe October. And they keep looking at me funny, and I'm just like, I'm just being real. Yeah. Like,
that's real.
Don't anticipate nothing. Like, it's kind of weird because like you have other people who are like, I'm working from home now, and like, they're getting their money, and then there's like me, and I'm just like,
I know,
waiting.
I know. But are they still paying you? I'm sorry. Do you mind like me asking are they still paying you?
They did for a little bit, and then of course they had to like let us go. They only retaining a few people that are literally managing the offices for each restaurant and such. So pretty much we got let go, but we essentially still have our jobs. When things get back to normal, they'll contact us.
Like for
and such. So yeah, I'm one of those that's definitely me.
I'm sorry. It is another broken another broken system, like with the spotlight on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's crazy, and it's kind of scary to think about it though. In long term, you know, trying to figure out like, am I really going to be on government assistance, you know, for a long time? Should I start looking at other jobs? Do I want to pick up a part-time job?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was in a career that was, you know, giving me all of these benefits and stuff, like, it's really just mind-boggling. I don't know.
It is. And then like when you think about part-time jobs like that, like the restaurant industry is like something that I'm super passionate about, and I love like all aspects of it. And it has always been my, like, you know, I'm doing this, I'm at school, whatever, but I also am like waitressing, or I'm like in between jobs in New York. Like I'm also, you know, bartending or like serving or whatever, like cocktail serving, whatever. Like it's like they're like, what does it look like the gig economy, you know, like what does it look like moving forward, where people, you know, we're working with our hands, like there are so many like industries that are gonna have to like pivot and think about just new parameters, like to keep people safe. Because I think that like we will be back in those in restaurants, like in you know, even like construction is kind of like, you know, we're kind of looking at like how close people can work together. Like we just need clear guidelines and a leader. Like your CEO is being a leader and putting together a best practices toolkit. Like who else is doing that? That's amazing. Yeah, we need a toolkit. We need a toolkit to keep people safe.
Definitely.
I just think it's funny how like the people who are really upset about these guidelines being set up and fighting so much to have freedom. And I'm just like, if not, like, you're really taking inconvenience and making it like as if you're being oppressed. Like,
Americans are stupid.
And they're fighting for service. Y'all not fighting to go back to work.
Right.
Service you. No.
America loves servitude. They love it.
And they love it. Where are you getting the money to even pay for these services? Number one. Number two, are you even going to tip extra and pour back into these businesses that are in your community? No.
Nope.
Like, I'm just confused. Like, I feel bad for like the smaller businesses, but these larger corporations, I really don't give two fucks. Like, you will make your money back. You know, people are still buying off of websites, you know, and continuing funding you guys that way. Like, I care about the mom and pops, like the small businesses and small, you know, things that are, you know, brick and mortars that are like literally that's their only source of income for families. And that's all that's on my mind, like, honestly. And you can see like certain people, they really do show their ass in times of like distress. Different businesses that, you know, online that like remained open longer than they should have been. And I understand why they didn't really take heed to everything that was going on, because they're like, damn, this is my money, this is my bag, like, why should I stop it? But I'm just like, seeing you on Instagram with your salon fully open, like, you parting this girl's hair on IG Live, you just gave her fucking COVID on her scalp. Like,
oh man. No, I just feel like, yeah, like you guys were saying, everything is just gonna change, and I don't think it's safe to allow people to continue business as normal until there is something set in place. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say, all right, we're open. Like, okay, so what are the guidelines? How are we gonna move? What's gonna be different moving forward? Because you tell people outside, it's like, all right, cool, we're gonna pack in the restaurant, we're all gonna get on the trains, like, things need to move very differently, and that I know for sure is not in place right now. So
I'm wondering, oh no, you go. I'm wondering what type of new service that they're going to try and offer, especially from a restaurant perspective. Like if you can't have people come in, then what can you do to kind of keep business afloat, especially with like the mom and pops getting creative with how to keep customers, but at the same time still practicing the guidelines with social distancing and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of businesses do like delivery, pickup orders, that sort of thing. There's this local bar that I really love, Black owned. They've been doing their cocktail mixes to go. Yes, also there's this other spot called Sip on Wine, this cute little Jamaican spot. They've been putting all of their rum punch
Support
mix.
business.
Like, yes.
Shout out to
like people taking it to go. I've seen I've seen a lot of that in Brooklyn, like people like making like dinner kits. Like you get your meal that you love and a picture of the drink and the dessert, and like, you know, you can pick that up and you go off on your merry way. I've also saw like places like Carbone, like those like you know, just like the higher end. I don't want to call Carbone higher end, but like those other like tiered restaurants are like offering like $2,000 for like a 5-course meal that like you, but again, that's like a different like tier. But I'm like, okay, like they're still trying to figure out how can they sustain their business as usual, just from a revenue standpoint. I saw that some restaurants, like 5-star restaurants, are allowing like one of their chefs like from their catalog to come to your house. But that's the chef comes up to the Hamptons and was practicing social distancing with you, because like people, you know, you just see like the class disparities. Like people have left the city and they're in the Hamptons and they're bringing their nannies, their damn Caribbean nannies, like putting them at risk, and they're working them to the bone, but they're working from home and having the chef come up to you know, like upstate to cook for them, like stuff like that. But then like from like, I've also seen like, yes, you'll check your temperature. If you want to make a reservation, you also have to like input your temperature like while you make a reservation. Removing the bar stools so that like you have like clear like 6 feet parameters for people in restaurants. I just think this disease keeps updating its resume. So you might not have a fever.
Yeah.
You might not have symptoms, but you still, you know, it's.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like even with like this delivery food, you don't even, like the person who's cooking it, like what if they're asymptomatic? You just don't know. It's just so many like variables to the point where that even scares me. Like I don't know, like I want to order, but like that could be the one meal. You know what I mean? Like
right.
So
like how I was talking about the other episode about like ordering food, and I'm like, I really wanted a pizza, but I'm like, damn, I have to demolish the box and blow it up before I bring it into the house. Like, it's just too much.
Oh, the ways that leaving the house is exhausting now.
Because you want to get suited and booted.
You gotta have your supplies on you. You gotta have the mask. And then when you bring the groceries in the house, washing every single thing, I'm just like, I am tired now. I'm gonna sit down.
Yeah.
That's a whole entire task. Getting ready to leave, going outside, getting the things back inside, sanitizing everything. That's a process. See why I haven't gone grocery shopping.
I know.
They gotta burn, not to mention the clothes that you just put on that are clean. You gotta burn them after you come from outside.
It's crazy.
I haven't even thought about I have thought about it. Like I take my clothes off when I get in the house anyway, but like take it off. But I also definitely have not isolated it from the other clothes in the hamper. This is a problem.
Girl, your panties got COVID. Your panties got COVID.
And also, as long as you don't touch it, I believe, I don't remember the time frame for everything, but certain surfaces, it dies after a couple of hours, or like 72 hours or whatever. So if you don't touch your clothes for like a couple of days, I'm sure it's fine. You know what I'm saying? But Just don't like rummage through it and then touch your face.
And then touch your face and stuff.
Hey, don't listen to her. That COVID is swimming through your hamper like.
Don't listen.
No, it's dead. It's dying. Well, listen, again, we really do not know, but this is
we don't know.
We're not scientists, y'all.
We're saying that.
That's what I want everyone to know. We, the common people, are not scientists. So stop making your infographics and posting them on Facebook so that our elders see it and think, oh, I'm like, y'all, we're not scientists.
Yeah. No one's certified. No one went to school. Like, y'all just talking out your ass right now.
Talking out your ass. So I know, like, we were, this is like a work conversation, but I'm really concerned about like how we let's take a poll. Are we comfortable going and standing in line and taking a vaccine for this?
I'm not doing it. I don't even care if it's required. I will fight the government. I'll go to jail, but you're not. No, I don't know if you microchipping me. No, I don't know.
Not with this fool in office.
You're not doing it. I'm not taking.
Also, like typical vaccines usually take a longer period of time.
2 years. The fastest vaccine we've had in the past is 2 years.
So
and they're saying we'll have one
in 3 months, please. So I can die and drop dead anyway? No.
Right. No.
So I think that, like, first of all, a vaccine will not hit Black communities. Well, they might. Well, they're prone to test us. They test shit on us all the time.
They testing the virus on us.
They're testing the virus on us. Like, it's bad. And like, the Tuskegee Airmen and syphilis. I'm not sure if it's the Tuskegee Airmen. We've been tested on before, but since we know this, I just don't know how to protect us moving forward. Like, what is the strategic communications plan? Because our elders who are truly immune compromised, like, I know they're not going to take no virus. I know they're not. But how, like, what are the alternatives? Yeah. I don't know. We need like Black medical professionals, like, being more visible to kind of like help lead us into the future, because
yes, but then there's also people who are skeptics. There's people like, well, okay, you're this Black doctor and you're this medical and you're telling me this is what I need to do, but then there's people like, nope, I'm just gonna do what the government says and take the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's harder for some strange reason, especially when I'm thinking holistically, like, people are just, I don't know, they're just really, they're not easily convinced by it, and I don't know why. So I think something like that might be even harder to convince people, like, yo, this is probably what you need to be doing. I honestly feel like there's natural remedies to everything, and I don't personally believe that other people, in order to, like, get people on board with that, would be harder. Like, yes, we can, have like Black doctors be visible or whatever the case may be, but then again, it just depends where they're getting their information from. Who's their information from, where they're getting the vaccines or where they're getting this information, depending on how you look at it. Like, I just feel like other people as a whole, people are like, all right, cool. People are sheep. They're going to just go with, all right, F it, vaccines out, let me do that, versus trying to figure out an alternative that might be better suited for their health.
Is there a holistic remedy for a virus?
Being alkaline.
People do
right, alkaline.
Yeah, people do research. And see how you're skeptical about it. Anything that happens, unless this is man-made, anything that happens, the antidote is already here. You know what I'm saying? It's already, we have it. It's here.
Well, the lead on the virus, or the lead on the vaccine for the virus is a Black woman. Last I saw. So I don't know if
that sounds great. Yes, Black people on board with the vaccine because the Black woman.
No, but I'm saying, like, I say that to say, but I'm not sure if she's, taking into account the effect that it has on the Black community. Is she looking at, are they, doing testing based on the different demographics and how, it's affecting each body? But I think I saw somewhere else that because there's different versions of the virus, the head of the virus changes, but the legs don't. So now they're trying to look at a vaccine that attacks
I didn't even know it
the
had
legs
legs
instead of the head.
I didn't know it had a head and legs. This is my thing. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Kudos to the Black woman. Shout outs to her, right? But again, she's doing this for, who is she doing this under, the CDC?
I don't know. It's
Point is,
by the government.
it depends on who is she working for. They're not thinking about Black people. They want to send us back to work already. They're not thinking about Black. They're making the vaccine for white people. So already our bodies are completely different. We move different. We breathe different. Everything.
Well, let me ask a question. Do you guys take the regular flu vaccine anyways? No. So either way, I don't think we are going to take
Well, you know, too, Black people already, as a community, we're already skeptical about just going to the doctor, period. And we only get there when shit just hits the fan, and we absolutely have to. So I think that's another reason why, too, we're ranked the highest as far as like deaths go, because I mean, we're all compromised. We're all compromised. You got people who don't like going to the dentist. You don't like people who like doing therapy. And you got people who just don't want to do a regular ass checkup. Like, it's just too much. And I don't know.
Medicine is not good for us.
Wanting to know, but yeah.
The medicine is not good for us. Why would I go to a doctor and you're going to prescribe me something that's not going to help me? Like, I personally don't trust no one. I don't, like, you know, they're cool, but I don't really trust them. You know what I mean? Like,
I think you really got to advocate for yourself when you go to the doctor, and also do the research to find a practitioner that you can relate to and also understands what you're looking for in terms of medical help. Like, I have a doctor, she's Asian. I searched high and low for Black primary care, but I just couldn't find a female doctor in my area. Whatever, that's a whole nother topic. But like the doctor that I found, like, she understands that I'm not really a pill popper. I don't like taking medicine like that. And so she'll give me the medicine. And then she'll also tell me, hey, if you don't want to take this, this is what you can do to sort of like help with this area. Like, you have the choice. She's like, I'll write you the prescription, but you don't have to pick it up. Like, it's your choice. That's so I think also too, like, you just have to have a voice. Like, my mom, she used to always be like, when you go to the doctor, let them figure out what's wrong with you. I'm like, what's the point of me going then? Like, if I'm not voicing to them what's the problem, I have to open my mouth to get the best results. And my mom, she's one of those people that doesn't go into the doctors anyway, so I already know her ass. Like, she just got physical therapy for an injury that she had, and she's coming back to me like, there's this thing, it's called acupuncture. I'm like, bitch, that shit been here.
That is so funny. I don't know. I just feel like modern medicine is just it's a hoax. The point is for them to make money. It's a profit thing. So I don't trust it at all. The whole goal is to make money. Like, that's their whole purpose. So I do not trust it. And even down to the doctors, like, yes, find a doctor who you can speak to, but then again, even down to what they're teaching people, what they're learning in school. You know what I'm saying? They're taking these things, they're not just pulling it out of nowhere. They're learning it from somewhere. They're not learning about specific things, ailments for Black people. But
to just jump on that, when you do search for a primary care or a specialist, they do make the note, to put the background of the doctor, things like that. So you can find someone who might be of the same descent as you, and you can probably relate to them and be like, hey, like, I have a Haitian background. My family, we're on with this, natural medicine. We do a lot of these home concoctions. Like, you might catch a doctor that might be like, okay, yeah, I'm Haitian too. Yeah, we can do this. Like, this is what it is technically called in the medical world. But guess what? Brew this fucking tea. Get the fuck out of my office. Like, thank you for your time. I swiped your insurance card. Like,
so I have a question for us then. So if we all, I mean, I haven't even asked myself this, like, it came about during this conversation. If we're talking about, I'm not going on the train until X, Y, and Z, I'm not going into the office until X, Y, Z, when are we going to go into the office if we're not taking the vaccine? Like, you know, when do you feel like, what is that? Like, what do we fill in the blanks with, like, when we feel like we are safe to go back out into the world, you know, if we're not going to take the vaccine?
I'm definitely a person who, when I go to the supermarket, I don't grab the first thing that's in the front. I grab in the back.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
So
You don't ever take the first one.
Never take the first one.
That's my theory with when they decide to officially reopen New York. I'm not going to be the first bitch out. I'm going to wait. When my job decides to reopen the office and offer the office as a workspace again, I'm not going to be the first bitch in there.
Why I want to run in there and look at y'all?
I'm going to wait. When they drop a vaccine, I'm going to wait for this vaccine 3.0 because the first and the second one is going to be a disaster. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm just sort of like, I think just generation, if you're, you know, heading into your 30s, you've seen a lot of things happen already, you know, with the first, you know, financial, you know, breakdown, 9/11, things like that. I feel like we have been in so many like chaotic environments or situations where we have to rebuild ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I think this is like the third, fourth time we're at this now where we literally are like rebuilding ourselves. And I think because we're the adults now in the situation, it's more of an intense situation.
Yeah.
And because you literally are thinking, because like, you know, we're in grade school, 9/11, we're like, oh shit, we got a week off from school. Cool. When the financial collapse, we weren't really thinking about it. Now that I think about it, I didn't even get to go to my prom because niggas was broke, you know? So like in hindsight, you don't really see the effects of it, but now because we are the working adults, we are the people planning our own family lives if you want to have kids. We're the ones taking over, you know, properties and managing things like that. It hits us harder. So now it's like, fuck. We got to really, really do some thinking here. We got to really do some planning. And that's scary for people. And honestly, I'm not going to be pressed. I would advise y'all not to be pressed to take the very first thing that they give us because it's, you know, fault by design. I feel like there's always going to be error.
I don't even get the first iPhone when it come out. I wait until some glitches is figured out. Like, I don't know. And then that kind of does tie back into what we're talking about with remote. Like, I think a lot of businesses are really going to have to shift to that because you're going to send people out with this random vaccine that hasn't been worked through. There's going to be another wave because the shit's probably not going to work or people are not going to be practicing social distancing. So I think with remote working, I feel like that's going to be the new normal, even though people probably don't want that. The powers that be, the people with the money who's controlling the economy, getting bailed out left and right with billions of dollars, they want to put people back to work because they don't care because they think people are fucking indispensable. So,
but then think about the sorry, Yana.
No. I just feel like they need to get on board with figuring out how to make that work and make remote a thing. Because I know before, I used to go on like the few job interviews that I did and be like, hey, so do you guys, like, what's your remote situation? And they'll look at me kind of crazy. I was trying to put y'all on, okay? At this point, people are not going to be able to even, depending on how the economy is going, cannot even afford their office buildings. So by default, y'all are going to have to, like, you know, have a remote workforce.
What about the companies who think, like, I don't know, have figured out or noticed, well, technically there are some people that we actually don't need in the office anymore because like the business can operate without half of y'all now.
We're going to see a lot of shifts.
So the dynamic is shifting and it's just, I don't know if it's it definitely ain't for the better. It's not for the better. It's just.
It's for what we got to do to maintain.
I think resiliency and it's like the ability to pivot is like what our generation and like anybody who is like impacted by this from a work perspective, like that's what we have to do moving forward. Because like work is going to change so much more.
Yeah, like Jodeci, I think that's another thing too, like the companies that are going to be like, well, we were doing fine with just our 5 CEOs, you know. handling things
You know,
from up here. Like,
online.
I don't think they would want to do that at all. They want minions, you know, like they want like people. It's just like, you know, how many few minions can they still operate, you know?
Turn a profit. It's America. The goal is to make money and make a lot of it.
Right.
Like, so that's pretty much the bottom line. And we know that based on the fact that disproportionately the small businesses didn't even get their loan out because they gave all the money to the people who are making close to $1 trillion. Like, this shit makes no sense.
It's embarrassing.
Well, hopefully the second stimulus package goes through Senate. It did pass the House.
I want another check.
I need
and so because I need that check. I don't know about y'all.
I need another check and I want student loan forgiveness. Give me both.
Okay. Yeah, I need that right now.
You know, a little
just a little dent in my tuition. That's it, because I can't find no sponsors in this pandemic. So it's just like,
I need a dent, like a major life-changing dent. Like, just do that.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about the industries that are thriving right now. So we have, like, of course, the independent creative route, the ladies and the men of OnlyFans who are like really grabbing this moment by the bullhorns and the straps. Like, literally, I never knew so many people who really were about that life. I mean, granted, OnlyFans isn't only about, sex work and that type of content, but the amount of people on my timeline who were just dropping links, I was like, you do
whatever. But then it's like, you can do anything. Like, me personally, I had an idea to do an OnlyFans to just create content where I can get paid from it, but it had nothing to, I would be fully clothed. It'd be something, but the connotation behind the OnlyFans is like, oh my God, the person on there can literally be fucking showing you how they create Lego worlds, but you are assuming that they're saying this.
Yes.
So
that's the thing. I said that before on Twitter, and I like, other people like retweeted it. I'm just like, y'all only think it's for sex work, and it's not. Like, so many people, like, Patreon is another site that's sort of similar when you subscribe to people's content. Like, we can make our OnlyFans as Dope Girl Dialect, and like, rope your asses in that way. Y'all want to see a titty? I got y'all. It's like, no, but
y'all really.
But like, I was just
we'll be sure to stick her nipples. Don't worry, guys.
I'll share my nudes anyways. So somebody, I know more than 5 people probably saw that shit. I really am taking a liking to people just like really going ham and like taking advantage of this moment of just like, you know what, I have content to share, like, and if you want to pay to support it, here's an easy way to do it. Like, instead of waiting for another company to like sort of monetize your shit, you get it your way. Like,
take the whole pie.
I'm here for it. I was just so shocked at how many people who were just like posting links on my timeline. I'm just like, damn, I got that much money. Like, can't subscribe to all of y'all.
Were they like, was it like nudes content, or was it like other stuff as well? Like the ones that you.
It was a blend. It was mostly the risque. I had a couple of DJs, but they DJ in a bikini. Have people reading poetry, but poetry with the titty out. Like, doing things that way. I'm pretty sure we could do a Dope Girl pod episode, but like with a shoulder. Okay, Ayana, yes.
How much
content?
I'll flex an earlobe. I ain't doing
Yes. Just put your kneecaps.
That's a fetish.
Kneecaps. Yeah. Put your kneecaps, Jodeci, on the screen.
I got you.
I'll put my feet on the screen, and there we go.
People love feet. Oh my God, they love feet.
Yes, put your feet up real quick.
I'm gonna do an OnlyFans with coloring books with my feet.
And you would get paid.
Some people been using OnlyFans as a second Instagram, and I think that's so funny.
I love that. That was what I'm thinking. Let me show you the picture that didn't make it to the gram, okay?
Right.
That's
But
fun.
it's literally the same pictures. Like the girls who like have body yaddy yaddy already on Instagram and they like subscribe, so people assume, oh shit, like she's showing something. Meanwhile, they subscribe and it's literally their timeline, the Instagram timeline.
Hilarious.
$10.
Listen, that's like you claim you know what your customers, you know how to reel them in. So can you really that?
If you got 500 likes on the photo, go to OnlyFans. Get paid.
Seriously.
Get paid for it. Yeah.
I also feel like the other industries that are like booming now for sure. Instagram, like, you know, there's the social network, Zoom and Facebook, all these people adding like all these different plugins. And even I just saw Google now has like a video conferencing thing that they kind of like up on my email, was like, hey, you can chat now. Even though they had Google before, they had Google Hangouts, different, or maybe they're trying to just amplify it. I don't know. I didn't really go look, but I feel like a lot of people are definitely trying to figure out ways to like monetize the platforms that they're on, which is cool. But then the main thing that you think about is like, you gotta get that shit off that platform. You know what I'm saying? Like convert people from the platform. Like it's cool, have the people there, but how are you gonna convert the people? Because one day Instagram could just be like, whoop, and then
yeah.
Home workout, that's thriving right now.
What is?
Home workouts, all the equipment and stuff like that you want to buy. I definitely miss the gym because a resistant band can only do me so much. But
yes, I'm about to go find a kettlebell, medicine balls. Like, I mean, kettle.
Good luck trying to find it though, Ayana. They're sold out.
Yeah,
everything is like, especially like your home workout stuff. I mean, look, I don't want to discourage you, but yeah, that was like the first thing to go. Like people were like, oh, let me get my dumbbells.
Yeah.
Damn.
I would definitely, because I went like literally like a week and a half before shit popped off. I randomly went into Five Below and I got me like a weighted jump rope, a medicine ball, some dumbbells. And it's looking at me like my dumbbells is looking at me like, you dumb bitch, use me. I haven't used it yet. But I'm gonna start jump roping every day now, at least for like, 15 minutes or something like that. But what's another industry? Oh, home like furniture furnishings, because everyone now is like in their room and like, this bitch is ugly. Let me redecorate.
Those space together.
Yeah, like
and those fucking strobe lights that's in everybody's TikToks.
Yeah, strobe lights or mood lighting.
Oh yeah, the hue lights. I have some of those. Amazing.
They have like, I'm definitely getting the light strips. I know I'm coming of age and I don't care if I'm pushing 40. I'm definitely getting strobe lights for my room.
Whatever we want. Get your room together.
Exactly.
I think like plant nurseries are like booming now because people are like, let me become a plant mom. Let me bring some life, some fresh oxygen. Let me spruce up the space. I've definitely seen a boom in that. I love it. I love some greenery. All of it. Okay.
Home, like kitchen, like cooking, like being like a Martha Stewart is like on brand now. It's just back. So the air fryers, the Vitamix, like, I don't know. I just think what's so fun about, it's not fun. A pandemic is not fun, but the things that people are doing during it. People are just like trying things. I think that is so cool. Like, I have an interest in painting and I'm just going to paint. Like, I'm just going to try it. Like, it's not perfect, but I'm going to spend my time in a way that I think is like fulfilling. I think that is so cool because, like our social media, like mindset, like, oh, I can't do this because it's not perfect yet. Like, I don't want to show the world this until I'm an expert. We are not all experts. Our president is not an expert.
Clearly.
Like, see ourselves, like just try things, and like the anxiety isn't helping anything. So I just feel like, draw, make your OnlyFans content, make your plant nursery, grow your herbs. I think it's so cool. I want
to make an OnlyFans, but I can't. Like, the connotation, I cannot. I'm gonna have to find something else.
What's the connotation?
The connotation
you gotta,
is showing ass, and I don't even want that. I don't even want that to be the case. Because that's what you think. We think someone throws an OnlyFans link on there.
But we gotta change the narrative. You gotta
change it, Ayana.
Yeah.
Or we can just find another platform. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but the thing of that's a whole nother topic too, because like when folks were using Patreon back in like 2014, 2015, I remember someone who he was a photographer and he used Patreon for his work, and people used to always come at him like, nobody wants to pay, just post your shit on Instagram, like who wants to pay you to see your work on there? And then now with OnlyFans, it's sort of like this emergence of like, you know, enthusiasm, like everyone is like, oh yeah, like, you know, you just subscribe, I'm in the top how many whatever percentage of you know, makers on here or whatever. And it's just like, it's a different language with depending on the content. Like, I feel like people will pay for X-rated content more so than paying for somebody who's a violinist and has like tracks, exclusive music and different things like that. Like there was Khalees, she had her own app. I think she still has it, where if you pay for a membership, you know, you can get unreleased music, things like that.
So cool.
And like people, you know, were making fun of Erykah Badu for charging for her online concert series, even though it was $1. But she had to make the point that like, I'm not working either. Like I'm not able to tour. Yeah, you're streaming my music, but I only get a percentage of that. That's not really going to me.
Yeah, so we're saying the same thing. I'm saying you don't have to do an OnlyFans. You can find another platform to do it on.
But you can still do it on OnlyFans though. You can braid hair on OnlyFans. Like
thing. That's what I'm saying. And because of that connotation, I'm good on that. I'm very good. I'm very good on OnlyFans.
Well, we shouldn't, but it's not just because like there is sex work on, like, so will you not sell things on Craigslist, because you can also like men seeking women, women seeking women, like find like sex work on Craigslist.
I do sell things on Craigslist, but I'm just saying we know, because even when you said, oh my God, I have all these people with these links on OnlyFans, what's the thing that comes to your mind at first? That's what I'm saying.
But it's gonna take more people like us to get on there and let them know it's not just this type of content that's offered on there.
Also, when you go to OnlyFans, like, you know, Twitter account and their website, they don't promote their site as like this X-rated,
they don't,
you know, experience. No, that's just what the shit that we see, you know, that get posted.
That's in the top percentage. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm in the top 2%.
You gotta offer something that people are going to want to invest in. It just so happens like, it's a no-brainer that sex always sells usually, but there's other things too that you can make money off of that you can sell. It's just gonna take open-minded people to get on there, clear, like,
and to make money.
Comment down below if you think Dope Girl Dialect should make up OnlyFans.
I'm saying OnlyFans is not the only platform, so I do not have to. I'm not going to be the pioneer to try to do that. I can find another lane. That's what I'm saying. Now, if you guys want to break through and bust through the sex workers, feel free. But I will not be the one.
We're gonna break that glass ceiling.
Please. And then call me when it's good, because
I can't.
And what's interesting on like after the verses, well, what was so fun was like, you know, Jill and Erica like selling merch, like doing like I
bought me a shirt, baby.
I got a shirt.
Paper.
Yeah. And so they were doing like audience sharing, like, oh, go to Erica to get this, go to Jill to get this. Like that was so amazing. And we're like, that is like fucking who's your marketing team, because you did it. And then you're seeing like, you know, Teddy Riley did it wrong trying to stream on his platform. Like the tech wasn't set up. So make sure your tech is set up.
Yeah.
But
his intention was good.
Yeah.
Tried.
Yeah.
C for effort.
You know, but he had the right idea. Like move people to your own like .com. And then Luda just posted his playlist from last night to his like ludacris.com. I don't know what's happening there, but you know, it's just like trying to like push people to your independently owned platforms. I'm like, okay, I get it. But it is so hard to make us spend money when we give money to Netflix every month, and sometimes we forget about it. You know what I mean? Like it's pushing people to spend money and Twitter culture, we're just vocal anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's enticing. If you're spending your money, if you're spending this arbitrary amount that you're not even thinking of, you can go support somebody. You know what I'm saying? Especially now, we're not taking Ubers, we're not eating out, we're not,
right. I've been thinking about that.
Like some people
still have a little bit more money. I mean, a lot of us are saving because we just really do not know what the future holds.
Right.
But I feel like in that sense, you can support. I don't want to hear that shit from people. Like, I don't.
That's what I'm trying to do.
There's money being taken out of your account every month. Some of the money you don't even know where it's going or who is taking it, but you're paying for it. So I feel like you can support. That's how I feel.
Especially during now with these businesses. Like, another thing that I think is so cool, they're like take their product and their service and fit it to COVID. Like, I forget the woman's hair artiste. She does like braids, like very beautiful, like braid styles. So she just opened up a shop, and unfortunately COVID, made it obsolete. She's selling like at-home braiding kits with like gel, like a rat tooth comb, rubber bands, hair, like braiding hair, and like, she's gonna package it really cute and like in her branding and then send that to you. I'm like, that is amazing. Like, and you want to support someone like that. It's like, you are, I think a do-rag was in it. I'm like, you are taking what is happening. We don't know how to do our hair. What she should do is then do a live and
tutorials.
Yeah, do tutorials. Maybe $1, charge $1 for people to get into the tutorial, but we do it together. That's amazing. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. You like, I like that.
A friend of mine, she does makeup tutorials, and I feel like people like are really, especially for the people who are like creative or have like really like very specific jobs, like in a personal face-to-face, they're like making it work, doing like makeup tutorials, people kind of want to look good, we still taking pictures and shit. The press on nail mommies is booming.
Yes, they're doing it. I love it.
Pairs are ready. Before I was doing like the store brands, but now I'm like, you know what? Let me give this money to the nail girls. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't really do nothing right now, and their work is okay.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, they are booming like right now. Definitely all that at home, self-care.
Right.
Definitely booming right now. Shout out to them. That's where my money is going.
Yeah. And another thing, like, but then these are all like from the women's perspective. I'm just watching men like flounder in this. I'm like,
come on now. We aren't surprised. We can lead the charge.
We lead the charge, but it's like
everything.
I know that barbershop culture is a culture. Like, you from a child, like your dad take you to get your first haircut, probably have your hair in a little baggie at home. Cool. From your first haircut. But y'all can't do it at home. It's just so crazy.
It's a problem.
How we are so women are so resourceful. That's why women lions, they are the bread, they get the food for the pack. Like, it's inherently, like, it's in our nature to just do, right? Yes. And we haven't seen men for months. I haven't seen them. They haven't been on Instagram. They have not shown their face.
You know what? I think too, because they don't naturally, we always have to take the bulk of the responsibility, not by choice, but I just think naturally we're always forced into these roles, especially Black women. I don't think people realize, like, we're the highest degree holders. We're the highest in household income, not because we want to, but these are just conditions that we've had to adjust to because we are constantly always having to provide and, yes, be resilient and constantly push through the bullshit. Whereas, then you got the entitled white women who are actually less educated, less income because they've never been required to do anything. Same with
probably still more income though.
Yeah. Well, okay, if you take away their husband, then no.
Oh, right.
They're just
proportionally they gonna make a little bit more money before.
Proportionally.
But
with less education. Yeah.
But you know what? Black women are beautiful. We figure shit out. We get shit done. We got common sense. Like,
and I don't want to. I'm sorry for the male listeners. Like, I'm not trying to. It's just an observation.
Y'all know that.
I'm just looking real rough right now. You know, and
You know, I mean, shout out to the guys who are stepping up, but you know, the both of y'all.
I even see videos of Black women doing hair. They're cutting hair now. There are barbers. There are at-home barbers.
They are doing it.
It's like my sister. I'm gonna find a picture. She just did my mom's nails. She's gonna do mine later today. Girl,
We are magic. We are unicorn people.
They are doing everything, like literally everything.
And I think it's dope that like all of these new skills are being acquired, because now you can like effectively save your money when things go back to regular. Yeah, like you won't find the need to like have to like spend $100 on your nails, like you know you.
With that makes a good point. Like with you now, we have these things that we can do ourselves. Is that going to change the landscape of those industries? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, people not really going to go to the salon anymore, so to speak. I mean, it's a convenience thing, but like, if we all know how to do things ourselves, where does that leave, like, you know, the hairdressers or the women who know, you know, who do wigs? Like, if, you know, we're all doing these things at home, you know?
Well, it goes down to the individual as well, because I'm definitely one of those women who like goes and do those things for special occasions. Like I'm not one of those girls that will go get their wig done, and then like a week later they have a different wig on. It's like, oh, did you just get your hair done? You know, like some people, they really thrive in environments where they can change their nails every day. Like they really think that they're on some Cardi B shit and can change their hair every 2 hours, and that's what they do. Whereas me, I'm an everyday bitch. Like I get my locks retwisted once a month. I can rock out maybe 2 p.m. Not 2 p.m. or maybe 2 more months. You know, without a retwist, I'm goody. Like, and then you have other people who are literally like, I am about to die. I have to do this every day. Like, so that market will still be there. It's just on the individual. Like, it might take a little bit longer for them to, return to that schedule.
Yeah.
But I think that's also the business owner's, responsibility to sort of, handle that and like reopen and like build their business back up to respect people's wishes in terms of like not really feeling the need to get a diamond encrusted mani and pedi. Like,
No.
If we're gonna go to my dope person of the episode.
Oh yeah.
I already know who it is.
Who's your dope person?
Ludacris, okay, because he won.
Oh, wait, you know what I heard today? I read that Versus is now sending like instruction kits. I'm like, what does that look like, first of all? But like, they're sending instruction kits for the people who are in Versus. So like, it's like tech, it's set, check, do this. They do tell them to do a tech rehearsal, and they can call Fadia at Instagram if they have any problems. Luda did everything, and Swiss was like, I know Nelly not. That's so crazy.
Nelly was having a good.
They're making.
I know. I was thinking about it.
We deserve a production. We deserve a production. I love it.
Nelly was on that screen looking like a whole sim, talking about some.
So much.
He was lit. I don't know what he was on.
Mile all the way out here.
Yeah, he was having so much fun.
He was.
But I think, the benefit, what's so great about Nelly and Ludacris are their videos. So I was like, they should have incorporated their videos in the background or something. Like there should have been something in the back,
I mean, they could have. I'm sure they could have. Instagram has that feature now, so that would have been dope to do. But he was having fun, looking good as fuck.
Is that why he's your dope person? He did look good. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We age well. We age so well.
We aged so well.
I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely one of those kids who had dreams about Nelly, and it sparked randomly. And I used to have dreams about. I was never like a Nelly stan, but he literally came in my dream like at least 4 times, and I'm like, damn, like why did he pop up? Maybe my mind was like,
he's fine. No, but Ludacris is my dope person because we don't even have the time for me to get into Ludacris's lyricism, his videos.
He proved it last
night. He's
night.
a monster.
And as an actor, not even gonna get there. So Ludacris, he's my dope person.
Ooh, shout out to you, Ludacris, and comment down below who you want to see on the next verses. And I'm voting for Bow Wow. We'll get into that into another episode.
But who was Bow Wow? Yeah, another episode.
Another episode.
Like, who's Bow Wow going to battle? Who's Missy going to battle? Like, I want to see these people, but who are they going to battle? Like,
it's a good
point.
Point.
Agrees with me that Missy's going to battle herself. But
she has to battle herself. Like there's no one compares.
Rapping Missy versus singing Missy. That's what.
Fine, do that. Yeah,
yes.
It doesn't make sense to anyone else. I saw maybe Mariah Carey and Alicia Keys, and I was like, Mariah would laugh. First of all, she'd make it a meme.
I think that Mariah Carey could go toe to toe with is a no-brainer would be Stevie Wonder, but he won't do it because I can't think of anybody with a catalog hers that's so yeah, because I'm just like, you can't. Mariah Carey been winning people's battles anyways, low key, because they've been pulling her records out. Why did this record?
We're gonna have to do a whole nother episode just talking about verses in general.
Yeah.
And maybe Shay will bring you back for that episode because that's a whole nother thing. But Jodeci, do you have a DIY for today? Or
I do. It's a quick one. My yoga teacher actually gave it to me. It's this app that I've been using. It's called Insight Timer Meditation. It's a lot of guided meditations on there. A lot of music that they have on there to target like your chakras if they're blocked, because I know all 7 is out of whack.
Yeah.
But it's a really good app. It's free. You can pay for it, but it's just so much free content on there. You can get around not doing that. But if you just need to just listen to some music with no words, just to calm you down, it's good for sleep, anxiety, depression, all that good stuff. I mean, like it goes by so many categories on there. Like there's music based off of trauma to help you. It's just a lot. But it's called Insight Timer Meditation.
Insight Timer.
Thank you.
Well, we'll have that linked in our bio as well, so you can download that. And Shay, we want to get you out of here. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Dope Girl Dialect, and we'll definitely have you back again. You're one of my favorite guests. We love you.
I love you guys. This was so, I mean, I think I started off talking about needing human interaction. I need it. Even if it's virtual, like I'm one at work who like leaves Zooms. I'm like, okay, bye. Like I don't want to talk to y'all, but like when it's a good conversation pointed around like these important topics, I love it. So thank you guys for sharing this space with me. It was really fun.
This was very, very therapeutic for me.
It was.
Yeah. Yes.
Antisocial as I'd be quick, be the first one out, but now I appreciate video call.
You know, another topic is like how people's love languages have changed during COVID. You know, Jodeci's talking about like, you know, it's forcing you to, like, not forcing you, but like you see yourself wanting to have communication or like, you know, more like that's, if we didn't have COVID, who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, we're all changing. And I think that the sooner we realize that, the better it will be.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just growth. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Dope Girl Dialect, the Minisodes pandemic series. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell to get all the updates of when we upload new content, y'all. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
So cute.